I think Lauren understood I was a bit frustrated, but I certainly didn't tell her to fire anybody because I know better than to do that. I would never do that.
You just said you did.
So,
wasn't Mr. DeLorenzo in the meeting too?
Yes.
Well, that's a problem.
The Palm Coast City Council will hold a special meeting today to review the results of an independent investigation into misconduct allegations against Palm Coast Mayor Mike Norris. Palm Coast Director of Communications and Marketing, Brittany Kershaw.
The Palm Coast City Council will meet this afternoon at 1 p.m. for a special business meeting, and this one will include a presentation from Adam Brandon, and he is an attorney with Lawson Huck Gonzalez, and he will detail the results of an investigation into allegations of misconduct, and this meeting will be held in the John Netz community wing of City Hall.
You can watch the meeting live on the Flagler Radio YouTube channel and the WNZF Facebook page. And if you miss it live, the meeting will be archived on both platforms. Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Thursday, May 1st.
You said we all voted against Mike Norris. No, we didn't. We voted against behavior. There are violations of the charter that occurred, and that behavior cannot happen from any of us.
Vice Mayor Teresa Pontieri addresses the rift between City Council and the mayor.
Pontieri says the council took action against Norris last week over his behavior towards city staff, not any disagreement over a proposed moratorium on residential development.
Perception is reality, and there's a perception, and I think rightfully so, and I've spoken out about this pretty ardently as well, that developers and builders have run this community for too long. And I think that is a product of a lot of the building that we have seen in the past probably 6 years or so, particularly since COVID, because we had such an influx of people after COVID.
Pontieri on the path forward.
The solution is to look at what the needs are of the community from a housing perspective. Do we need more housing because people are not able to find it? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then we need to slow that down. If the answer is we need more jobs, which we do, our unemployment rate is higher than that of the state, then we need to create more jobs and we need to bring in more industry. But we have to invest in that. And we have been way underinvesting in our economic development for too long. So that is a policy shift that from the dais, we can actually say from a policy perspective, we are going to invest in economic development.
Pontieri and other members of the council will hold a special meeting to discuss an investigation into misconduct allegations made against Mayor Norris. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Daryl Moody.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. In other news, Palm Coast's search for a new city manager continues to unravel. Paul Trombino, one of the final two candidates, withdrew his candidacy after failing to gain full support from the city council. That leaves Richard Huff as the only remaining finalist. Council members had expressed concerns about both candidates' lack of large-scale budgeting experience and requested written proposals to be reviewed at next Tuesday's meeting. Meanwhile, in Flagler Beach, Stephen Cox has been named the new fire chief. Cox, a 15-year veteran of the department, was selected from a pool of 15 applicants after a formal hiring process. He began his career in 2005 and has held several leadership roles. An assortment of problems kept Flagler County Sheriff's deputies busy last weekend.
In the latest weekend roundup report, deputies were busy conducting a felony traffic stop that netted quite the criminal. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
Deputies spotted a stolen budget rental truck from Volusia County on West State Road 100. After using stop sticks to flatten the tires to disable the vehicle, the driver was arrested not only for grand theft auto, but also on drug charges when he was found methamphetamine and paraphernalia.
The man told deputies he was using the vehicle for his business. However, a representative from Budget Car Rental reported the vehicle stolen a week ago. Then, in another case, a 63-year-old man from Palm Coast was wearing his birthday suit during a crime.
The man was arrested for attempted burglary when he tried to break into a home while he was nude. The victim called 911 and deputies responded and located the suspect walking away from the victim's residence naked and arrested him. Attempting to break into a home without your britches is not an encounter you want to have with law enforcement.
In all, Flagler County Sheriff's Office deputies made 23 arrests this past weekend as deputies handled 835 calls for service and made 184 traffic stops. For Flagler's Local Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.